Hi, I'm Graham and welcome back to Man vs Film. We're talking about the Take Shelter Blu Ray that has been released from Second Sight Films. They've been doing lots of limited edition packaging recently, and they really do seem to be putting a lot of work into the discs and the contents as well as the packaging to make these creative and fantastic editions of these movies. Take Shelter is one of these movies I've had on my watch list for the longest time, and I've just never got round to getting into the movie, to sitting down watching it. So when I got this package, I was more than happy to throw it on and finally sit down and take in Jeff Nichols' Take Shelter. I'm a big fan of Nichols. I like a lot of his stuff, from Loving, Shotgun Stories, Midnight Special. He always creates something that's a little bit different, a little bit fantastical, and definitely something different from whatever else is out there at the moment. Take Shelter fits into that very much so, but it's a small contained story. We have basically a couple, which is Jessica Chastain and Michael Shannon, and they are Samantha and Curtis, and they are just this couple who are having a solid life. They've got a daughter, and she is deaf. They've got lots of things going on in their life, and they just seem to be having a happy existence. Curtis is one of these guys that works to provide for his family, enjoys spending time with his family, and just seems like a loving father, like a really good guy. You get this earnest idea of this character and you almost instantly just like him. And this is when the cracks start to appear in Curtis. He starts to see these storms on the horizon and have these nightmares of weather events that are cataclysmic, that are destroying his world, the actual world, just tearing it down. And he starts to feel as though he may be having some sort of mental episode or breakdown. And whereas in most of these movies I think they would have tackled it very differently, one of the key things about Take Shelter is how pragmatic he is about it, going to the library, getting books, looking up the subjects, trying to figure out if it is him or what's happening. And he's constantly struggling against it. It's a great idea throughout the movie as he feels that these storms are coming, and it makes him do something physical. He starts to expand this storm shelter that he has. He starts to plough money into it when they don't have the cash to do it. He tries to expand these things because he has this deep-seated fear and anxiety of what is possibly coming. And his wife Samantha is supportive and understanding to a certain extent, and actually doesn't create these antagonistic scenes where you would normally have couples bickering. They sit down and have a pragmatic discussion about what is actually happening. She has a love for her husband. She's worried for her husband, and she's trying to make him feel reassured and get better and get what he needs to do to make himself feel more complete without tearing the family down. It's a nice addition to this movie, which tackles quite a few things incredibly well, including mental illness. And you have Curtis, and I really grew to love this character and how he was doing things that he knew wasn't the best thing to do, and was constantly trying to rally against them, but had a compulsion and struggling to fight against it. And he kind of tears his world down. He burns bridges, he ruins relationships, he struggles to cope with anything else. He just has this anxiety that is overruling his life. And then of course there is the story of his mother, who also has a mental illness, and that came on set early, and he feels as if he's maybe going the same path. Take Shelter was one of these movies that I really wish it hadn't taken so long for me to get to it. And when I was watching the movie, I suddenly realised that halfway through, that I was getting fidgety, that I was getting unsure. I just wanted to know what was going to happen. I felt as if I just wanted the movie to be over. And that's when it suddenly clicked with me. It wasn't anything the movie was doing. Well, it was doing something in the right way. It was making me feel what Curtis was feeling. I was feeling anxious and daunted by what was coming, and I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how things were going to play out, and I was genuinely worried and anxious for this character. And I realised that the movie had made perfect sense to me and had put me right into that mindset, and that just affected me even more with these characters. I think Take Shelter is an absolute masterpiece of a movie. I think it's fantastic. It puts you in the mindset of somebody that's going through this kind of process. And I think if there's anybody in your life or anybody you know who's been through this type of situation, these anxiety problems or just like mental illness, this will give you an insight into what they were possibly feeling, just a slight look into what these kind of things that people are going through. It's marvellous. And you get this premium packaging with it. You get a booklet that's full of great information, but the disc itself has an absolute just overload of extras on it. It is fantastic, the amount of content that's in here. I've got a piece of paper here with my notes on it because there was that many things that I just couldn't keep it all in track of my head. So run through some of the extras. So this is a limited to 2,000 units. It has Building the Shelter, which is a new interview with Jeff Nichols. It's 27 minutes long. And it's really just him talking about getting the financing in place, the writing process, getting the actors and getting the movie started. And it's really quite insightful, and it's quite an easy listen to as well. The guy's quite charismatic and quite articulate and lets you know his thoughts and feelings on the movie then and now. And it is probably my favourite of the extras on here. We have the 2011 Eberfest Q&A with Jeff Nichols and Michael Shannon. And this thing is 71 minutes long, and it's just... It's quite insightful as well. There is some cringy questions, there is some good answers, but it's another good addition to this package. We have DP30, which is an interview with Jeff Nichols, Michael Shannon and Jessica Chastain. This is 31 minutes in length. There is an interview with Jeff Nichols at Cannes Film Festival, which is 7 minutes. We've got the 2011 Toronto Film Festival interviews with Nichols, Shannon and Chastain. It's 3 different parts, but it totals 26 minutes for the 3 of them. We've got a 10-minute behind the scenes, we've got a 5-minute deleted scenes, the 40-page book, and that's it. It's a stacked disc, it really is. And I've got to say, I think, you know, on top of like Extra and the Changeling and various packaging that Second Sight have got out, this is one of the ones that may just eke by without people realising it's out there, and I think it is one of the ones that you have got to pick up. I've just got to have it in my collection. It's a fantastic disc, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this movie. If you've seen it, what you thought about it, and now this is me just coming to it. If you've seen it a while ago and you checked it out again, how it holds up, I'd love to know. So just let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.